So I looked up CTA, and it's Corporate Transparency Act. And the financial end of things.
Right.
Yeah, I want to touch on this because this is big stuff.
This is big stuff, and it's
not for big corporations.
No, it's for everyday business owners, and no one's talking about it. So this is important. The Corporate Transparency Act is from the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, Department of the Treasury. IRS is another department of the Treasury, but they're not talking to one another, two separate divisions, okay? Financial Crimes Network is where this is coming from, Corporate Transparency Act, and it has to do with what they call beneficial owners. So any business that does less than $5 million in revenue, has less than 20 employees, must register with the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. If you're a new entity in 2024, you have 90 days to register.
So an entity, you need to be incorporated, or
so that's a great question. So an entity is something that was formed by a state Secretary of State. So like the Ohio Secretary of State, you filed articles of incorporation or articles of organization, an LLC or a corporation. Okay. So that's the first thing. So if
that would be me.
That would be you.
Yeah.
That's right. And many real estate agents that are operating as under the LLC or umbrella, or probably have an S corporation, would fall into that as well.
I highly recommend
potentially
LLC every property.
If you have LLCs on your real estate, each property, or have multiple properties in an LLC, absolutely could fall into this. The requirement is that if it's a new entity in 2024, you have 90 days to register with the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network online at their website. There's a website that you can go to and do it yourself. If you were an entity that existed prior to January 1st of 2024, you have until the end of 2024 to register. Okay, so in your case, well, I have some more caveats, but in general, yes, the way it looks right now, by the end of 2024, an entity like yours or mine will need to register. Now, there's about, I think, 16 exceptions that we won't go into today, but essentially you need to register and tell the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network who the beneficial owners of your entity are, who is the primary member. Anybody that owns more than 25% needs to be registered or listed as an owner. What they're looking for, trying to get to, is the people that control the entity that may not be owners, the what they call the beneficial owners. So it could be your uncle that's pulling the strings on the company. Their idea is that this is going to curb money laundering. I doubt that it's going to have any real impact on that. But if your business is small enough, under $5 million in revenue, less than 20 employees, you must register. The thing about this is it's got some real teeth to it. It's a $500 per day penalty, potentially up to a $10,000 penalty if you intentionally disregard it, and there's jail time possibilities with this. So it's really ugly. Yeah. No one's talking about this. It should be on our news channels, on our nightly news. You got to register for this, because they're not sending out flyers to everybody saying you need to register your entity. They're leaving it up to you to figure it out. And what's going to happen is grandma who owns a rental property with an LLC is going to get a letter at some point, and they're going to come visit, and who knows what they're going to do. Send her a letter with a penalty for $20,000 because she never filed. Who knows what it's going to look like. But it's been deemed unconstitutional in Louisiana with a trade organization, but only members of that organization are exempt from it right now, and it's being appealed. There's a case in Michigan. There's several cases that are trying to fight this thing. I think it should be unconstitutional. This information is already available in the federal government somewhere. Right, we file tax returns. We put our owners on the tax returns. So it's really, I think, an intrusion. But right now, it is the law. It's coming down, and all small businesses need to be aware of this thing. It's ugly.
Let's get back to that as soon as we come back from our next break. The Rock and Roll Real Estate Hour is brought to you today by Mike McCormick, Financial Clarity Group, 513-752-0386. Or financialclaritygroup.com.
It's on the Financial Clarity Group website as well.
Okay.